Okay, so we're using einkorn flour again today. This is a little bit of an experiment. We wanted to make some crackers, and to give them a little bit of flavour, we had some za'atar. We used to sell this in our shop. This is a local New York produced za'atar. Just adds a little bit of herbs with some sesame, a bit of flavour to what otherwise would be quite a bland cracker. So to start off, take the einkorn flour. We used about 150 grams of this. Just turn that out into a bowl. The einkorn is great if you've got any kind of gluten intolerance. It seems to have less effect on the gut than regular flour does. Unfortunately, it does not produce anywhere near the levels of gluten, which of course you need for certain recipes. So, a teaspoon of salt, or in fact I think it was half a teaspoon. And then I started with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. And this is just to help bring it together and bind it together. I'm also going to add a little bit of water. And don't be afraid, you can always add a little bit more. So as you see, as I begin to mix it just with my hands, that's starting to come together. But it just needs a little more liquid in there. It's still sort of more like a breadcrumb at the moment, even though that oil has become completely combined. So starting with a tablespoon of water. And you want to keep it fairly firm. You don't want it to get paste-like, but just add a little water as you feel the need to help it just to come together and bind together. And don't worry about the water. Once that is combined, when it cooks, that's going to create steam, and that's going to help lighten the final cracker. I decided I needed a little more olive oil, so I think we're up to like 3 tablespoons now at this point. And as you can see, it now really begins to bind together. Splash more water, keep mixing. And of course, because it doesn't produce gluten, you don't have to worry about producing too much gluten by over kneading it. So just bring that all together in the palm of your hand. I decided to splash more water until that holds together as a dough. I then rested it for sort of 30 minutes or so, and then rolled it out, and then using a pasta cutter and a ruler, actually it was a rolling pin, just cut relatively similar sized crackers. And then once those were cut out, I put them out on a cookie sheet, got a sil pat down. And then I'm just going to dust them once they're all laid out on the tray with some of the za'atar mix. So sprinkle that all over. And then pop them in an oven around 350. They're going to take maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes. Once they're done, I'm going to pull them out. Pop them on a cooling tray or a cooling rack. And you can see that za'atar's adhered to them quite nicely. You might want to sprinkle a little salt on the top as well. That's something that we sort of noticed when we came around to eat them, that a little more salt would have been nice. There is a bit of salt in the mix, but a sprinkle would have just really finished them off. So let those cool. Once they're cooled, you can package them up. Just treat them like any other cookie in a sealed jar. Bring them out, serve them with some cheese or some pate. A really good alternative to a regular cracker made with a regular flour. So there we go, einkorn crackers. Thank you.